morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Wednesday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, we're just kind of drifting along, everybody. I mean, I don't really know any other way to describe it. We had an upper band ride. It's come off of the upper band ride now for a couple of days, but we're not going anywhere. And we're not going anywhere because we've got a couple of big data points coming up this week. You got the Fed today at 2 o'clock. We're going to get a rate decision. And we'll get some, in the statement, we'll get some idea about, whatever. And that, that should move the needle. You've got jobs on Friday. You've got a lot coming out of Washington about what's going to come to a vote and what's not. So we're just kind of in wait and see mode in the tape. And the way that plays out, the way it played out yesterday was you had a pretty choppy day. This is basically your regular session right here. Hopped up and did 88.75 again. So here, you got this overshoot here. But 88.75 stops it again. You head down and you do, you did 81.75. Not as well as you did yesterday versus the weekly pivot. So at the time, you had created a higher low. And basically, you spent the rest of the day just chopping around. You're looking at, here's 83 and here's 87. So the vast majority of the regular session was spent in a 4-handle range, which will drive you crazy, especially if you overtrade it. I didn't trade it particularly well yesterday. I was looking for the move over 95. I got caught leaning the wrong way. Had a red trade in the morning, and then I tried a little bit in the afternoon and a little bit in the early evening, but I was looking for it to move back up to 88, so I got stopped out even on a bunch of stuff, and it was just a day where, sometimes you're just going to struggle, and the key when you struggle is don't struggle taking 15 trades, okay? That's how a lot of people, struggle. It was 3 trades, day is over, and you move on to the next one. So as I head into today, there's a couple things that I'm noticing. You've got the mid band on the hourly chart. You got daily pivot here. That held the bulls in the overnight. You did break yesterday's Globex low if you're the bears. At the same time, you still can't take out weekly pivot. The bears need to take out right here, 23.77. And now we're into Wednesday. And now you've got the Fed. So, if they walk this up into 2 o'clock and the reaction is positive, it's going to be very difficult for the bears to fight back for the remainder of the week. That's, unless you see something that is unusual for ES. What you want to see is the bears force the conversation. They had a chance, I think, to move it down a heck of a lot lower last night than they did. NQ finally gave up a little bit there after the Apple earnings. The NQ's just been in its own world, making new all-time highs every day. That started to back off a little bit, but they really couldn't back it off much. I think it's down 0.25% this morning. So that's nothing. And it had an opportunity to take ES with it if it wanted to turn, but it didn't want to turn. So what we ended up with was yet another move down into the 81s that's held. So this 77 to 81 area, you can call it's not really a bull-bear line, but it's certainly a chunk of price that if the bears want to have any significant effect on this week's trade, they need to convert that entire area, 77 to 81. The task for the bulls is the same, 23.94.75. You've got to take out 23.94.75 and go after the all-time high. You got your best buddies, the Fed, coming up at 2 o'clock, and it should put you in a position to do that. If it doesn't, then the bulls right now just have just as many problems as the bears. We're just kind of waiting. I think I described yesterday we're sitting in a waiting room. We're just flipping magazines. Sitting in the waiting room, seeing what this thing wants to do next. The next move will be fantastic. But don't chop yourself up. Don't overtrade. Don't get yourself in a poor position account-wise waiting for that move to develop. Just wait for it to develop. Do less and wait for the vol. All right, everybody have a good one. I'll be back with a midday update. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade 'em well.